Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Jack, the muscle and mobility maker with Stronghold Strength and Conditioning. And today, I'm going to be showing you how to bulletproof those weak ankles that you're always spraining and injuring. But before we get into it, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine. And it doesn't get better than that. So take advantage of it. Ready? Let's go ahead and dive into this one. All right, like I said, today we're going to be taking a look at how to bulletproof your weak ankles that you're always spraining and injuring and re-spraining and re-injuring. Now, the first thing to understand here that's most important is that even though we're talking about the ankles, we're really talking about what's happening down at your foot. And with that said, if your feet are failing you, your ankles will be the most immediate result of that, and they will let you know that there is dysfunction happening at the foot where it's not working the way that it should with strengths that it should have, and now your ankle is ending up paying the price because of that. So what we're going to be doing today is actually showing you a lot of intrinsic foot strengthening work and some direct ankle strengthening work to help you truly bulletproof your ankles, because we are directly playing a large role in our own demise when it comes to ankle injuries, specifically with the footwear that we are choosing. Oftentimes we're wearing a shoe that has a narrow toe box, a thick sole, and it has a drop to it, or some type of altered mechanical structure to how that foot impacts the ground and then connects with the floor. This is a problem, and it's changing our mechanics and structure from the ground upward and causing issues upstream. Again, ankles being one of the first places that starts to happen, but it could be your knees, it could be your low back as well, and it could just be your feet aching and tired if you're on them throughout the day. So understand that these are all symptoms of your feet letting you down and failing you in a place where they're really intended to just be strong and very capable. So we're going to show you how to restore those feet in a good place where you can start to set your base, connect with the floor again, and really start to feel once again. Again, I really encourage you to consider what footwear you're wearing and would push you in the direction of minimalist footwear. This is something that I never thought I would be an advocate of, but I am after I've seen the own changes that I've made in my own feet after playing 20 plus years of soccer and having a foot that looked like a soccer cleat. This is something that I've actually become very adamant about with each of the individuals that I work with, especially if there's any lower body issues that we're trying to resolve. So that is something that I truly would want you to consider. I'll put some links down below in the description here of some brands that I do recommend. But changing to minimalist footwear alone is not going to solve your problem either. Okay, so that's important to understand, that it's a piece of it, but it's not the full solution. And the intrinsic foot strength that we're about to do, that we're going to show you, is going to help you solidify that whole process to make sure that we're truly hitting everything that we need to and getting to all the pieces and parts to make it a full transition from the shoes that you've been wearing to that minimalist footwear, and to simply have the strength in your feet to actually be barefoot more regularly overall, which will in turn improve your ankle function. So if you're struggling with ankle mobility or ankle injuries, you're going to see improvements there overall. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into these exercises and take a look at how you can bulletproof your ankles. All right, this first exercise is called a passive toe splay and forefoot rotation. So the first thing we're going to do is interlace those fingers with the opposite foot out front. And we want to get our fingers as deep as possible here, as much as possible into that webbing of the foot. So we want to flex the foot for about 5 seconds against the fingers, and on the relaxation of that, we're going to actually sink deeper in between those toes. So we should be able to get a little deeper every time we flex for 5 seconds and release, And we're just gonna keep working in deeper and deeper in between those toes there, trying to get those toes as spaced as possible. When our toe box starts to narrow, we start to lose surface area. When we lose surface area, we start to lose our balance and structure below. So that is a big part of making sure we have enough of the splay that we should and the spreading of our toes and foot that we should in order to help get a stable foundation. Now with that finger interlace, I'm going to start to rotate the forefoot. So your forefoot should have separate rotation from the remaining portion of the foot. It might look like the whole foot's rotating, but this is actually coming from about midway in your foot here, that we're rotating that bottom of the foot all the way up to the ceiling and then rotating it back where we're pulling in both directions to max that range of motion. Now that we've passively opened up the toes, we're gonna go ahead and actively open up the toes, and this is called an active toe splay. So just sit there. You're gonna see me focusing on my right foot a little bit more because this is the one that I struggle with more than my left, and you could see the difference in the amount of splay there. But it's important that you're able to see space between those toes and feel the musculature of your foot actively opening up the toes to create that space as much as possible. So we want to see movement at every toe. We want to see some space in between each toe, and it might take some heavy concentration at first in order to get your feet to do that splay the way that you want them to. So don't get discouraged if it's not happening right away. Just keep playing with this movement whenever you can, whenever you're barefoot, and it will be helpful. Next, we're going to work on our toe extension. Here we're sitting butt to heels with the toes tucked under deep as we can here. Now, toe extension is important to our overall gait. When we lose toe extension, we start to change the way that our foot angles, and this again can change how we connect with the ground itself. So we need to make sure we have that toe extension, and also our ability to plantar flex the ankle. So here I'm gonna take those toes out and I'm just gonna get that ankle as flat to the floor as possible, my butt between my feet if I can. And again, I'm adding some hip thrusts here. We're just working the flexibility around the foot and ankle itself. A lot of the toe muscles do connect up in around the calf musculature and the front of the shin. So as we're working these parts above the ankle, that's also working those toes still. All right, and we're back in with some toe control exercises here. Now we're gonna work on active extension of the toes. We're gonna separate out the big toe from the small toes though. So we wanna keep the small toes down as we extend the big toes. And then we're gonna keep the big toes down as we extend the small toes. You wanna use the musculature of the foot to pull those toes up as high as you can away from the floor while maintaining the pin of the opposite toes in that. So take your time with it. The next one we're going to do is called cat's claws. So we want to reach out and grab the mat, grab the carpet, grab the floor, and imagine dragging the floor back to your heel. So you want to reach out long, pull back deep with those toes. And you can see my arches working really well here each time I pull that mat back with that long reach. The last one we're going to do is called a pin and fan. So we're going to pin the first metatarsal behind that big toe, and then we're going to open up the rest of the toes like a fan. So I really imagine your foot acting like a Japanese fan, opening up as far as you can. Again, here comes in that active splay that we want. And we're pinning and opening up. That rotation is what's creating that fanning effect. So you'll see the rotation kind of open those foot a little bit. They might slip a little bit, that's okay, but do the best you can to create that space. All right, now that we've addressed the foot strengthening, we're gonna get into a little bit of the ankle stuff specific here. So the first thing we're gonna do is address the ankle joint itself with a few banded exercises to make sure that it is articulating as well as it should. Anchor a band low on a post here. You're gonna need something to hang on up overhead. I've got 2 posts that work nicely between there. I can fit well, but you could use that bench as well if you wanted, just to place it in a good position where you have space to stretch out. So from here, we want the leg fully extended, And we're gonna put the band so it's at the back of the heel and then exit over the top of the foot here. What I wanna do is flex into the band for about 5 seconds, keeping that leg long, really working the front of the shin, and then I'm gonna release and relax and just let that band take my foot and ankle and leg and really just let it relax into that pull so that I get a good traction effect each time I'm releasing the flex itself. Next, we're going to open up some more dorsiflexion here. So I want the band anchored low on the post still. I'm going to bring the bench over so that I can prop my foot up on it so the band is pulling at a downward angle. And you can see I have it right where my joint is hinging at the ankle there. I want to drive my knee over the middle toes and smallest toes as far forward as I can. So I'm really leaning my weight over the ankle there, really trying to keep it flat as I lean over. But then I'm going to add that little bit of a calf raise, and we want to raise up right through the second and big toe as we drive up as high as we can through those toes, and then relax once again, letting the band pull the ankle into a nice deep dorsiflexion there. Next, we're going to use some mobility floss here to help address the soft tissues and really strengthen the ankles through blood flow restriction. So you wrap the floss in a range where it feels like it's at a 6 to 8 out of 10 on the tension scale, and we're going from the foot up through the ankle, around the Achilles, up into the calf there some. Now I want to make sure that my foot might start at a little lighter wrap at first and then increase as I get into the calf tissues there. And then this is a very movement specific floss, so I can do pretty much any movement that I want that's challenging. So you'll see a lot of repetitive ones here that we've already kind of shown, and I'm just going to use those where they're challenging and take myself through those ranges of motion, because again, we're getting self-myofascial release from the floss. It's going to help those tissues glide better over one another, and then I'm also getting blood flow restriction. So once I remove that floss, we're going to get an influx of blood flow, which brings in growth hormone and helps those tissues really strengthen up as much as possible. And speaking of strengthening, we're going to do some stability exercises to finish off here, specific to the ankle and lower leg. So we want to place a yoga block between the knees here, and we're working on our ability to rotate the tibia with the articulation of the ankle itself. So place that yoga block long ways between the knees so you have good spacing. Keep the heel pinned down. You're going to go ahead and dorsiflex the ankle and then rotate, pivoting in as deep as you can, getting those feet to point in toward one another as much as possible. Now we do want to see if we can balance out that rotation on each side as much as you're able to. Now you can also do this with a band on the foot pulling outward so that you are resisted in that rotation as well. This can be a way that you could scale up and build a little bit more strength at the ankles in this position specifically. All right, still using that band anchored low on the post, we're gonna place it on the inside of the ankle, so it's actually pulling me into the place that I would roll my ankle normally, right? The most common roll is gonna be outward, and that is where we want to pull it. So here I'm actually training my ankle to have the stability to not roll as my foot contacts the floor, and I'm performing a lunge. It's a great way to do this because we're unilateral here. It's gonna mimic walking and running very well, and we want to go ahead and pull into that weakness. I can also, if I tend to overpronate, pull myself into the middle. So depending on what your needs are, what your ankles tend to do, you can use the directional pull based off of where your compensation is or where you have trouble. So just keep that in mind. If your ankles roll outward and tend to have problems in that direction, you want the band pulling at the inside of the ankle. If it's the opposite and you tend to collapse inward, you want this one right here. All right, and there you have it. How to bulletproof your weak ankles that want to always get rolled or injure themselves again and again. If you like this video, make sure you let me know by clicking that big thumbs up down below, and take a moment to share this one with a friend, especially if there's someone who struggles with recurring ankle sprains or ankle and foot problems, or like I said, even knee and lower back. It might be something that benefits them as well. If their base is off, it could be affecting them in that way. So pass it along to them. If you're somebody who would like direct help fully resolving your ankle issues, or if you have other training aches and injuries that are keeping you from training at the intensity that you would like to, what I want you to do right now is drop down below in the description to fill out a coaching application and grab a time for your mobility blueprint call. This is a Zoom call where we'll get to assess your current mobility limitations and movement limitations, tailor a program specifically to your needs based off of what we find there and all the information we gather. And then I can specifically lay out the details of that program, what it would look like for you on that call, so that you would know exactly what you'd be getting into, what it would entail for you, and other details around the programming and coaching and how it works, cost, all of that. So if that sounds good to you and you would like the direct help in this process, go right now into that description, schedule that call, and we'll get you moving in the right direction. Last but not least, if you have not already, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life routine, and it does not get better than that. Welcome to the Stronghold Army. We'll see you next week.